some more thoughts I've written down about this generation and connection. So with the Gen Z and the millennials, even a lot of your younger employees, even in that realm, and I'm a millennial, so like we kind of connect to that. We kind of were the best of the old school, and now they're kind of the new school way of being an employee. But the Gen Zers and millennials, doing some research and stuff and being in leadership classes, they do seem, and there's been a theme, to value connection, purpose, inclusion, feedback, and authenticity more than previous generations, right? And why is that? Well, I'll tell you why. So just imagine generations before this growing up did not have social media, didn't have, internet, didn't have the phone, and had active information and real-time communication, right? Or our old school type of generation, we waited for the leaders to roll out the orders, waited for direction. And if you saw your leader, you were probably in trouble. And now it's real-time information at your fingertips at all times, which has made people have to change their leadership abilities if they want to be effective. So, yeah, they grew up with instant communication, Gen Zers and even millennials, right? That change in the culture of our world, constant connectivity. I looked this up, and organizations that are now talking about culture and belonging. There's been like a big push for the past 2 years that are making those like mandatory things to discuss, and leaders are getting developed in that ways, and they didn't used to. So when leaders kind of act distant or transactional, or you only communicate when something's wrong, then your younger generation will disengage faster than you expect. That said, many leadership researchers are finding that young workers don't necessarily actually want a family at work, but because they know, it's at the end of the day, it's a business, it's an enterprise, it's a company. They lay people off, they replace people, restructure, move on, right? But what they often want is a sense of belonging. You got to give them a sense of belonging. Leaders who care about them as people. That's another thing they want. They want clear expectations. They want frequent feedback, development and mentorship. They want purpose behind the work. They need to know the why, and they need that psychological safety at work to speak up. They really need that. And so as a leader, the message you should be telling them or putting across to your people is, I will hold you accountable, right? We have standards, but I'm also going to coach you. I'm going to develop you, and I'm going to help you succeed before we ever get to the point of talking about you moving on and getting off the team. And that's what they want. Leaders need to balance the concepts, right? You have to say standards matter. Accountability matters. Mission comes first, but the people come always. And people matter too. You have to explain the why. You have to invest in them more. And you have to fight for them when it's appropriate. That is how you don't lose this younger generation being their leader.